Uh, Good morning, friends. In the previous class, we discussed about the Pelton wheel, its working principle and the design proportions and the construction features and the working principle, and we completed conventional questions on Pelton wheel. Now, today our topic is a radial flow turbine. In that, we discussed about the Francis turbine. So first of all, we should know what is a radial flow turbine. So in previous, Pelton wheel is a tangential flow turbine. This means the flow of water coming from the penstock to the nozzle, and from the nozzle it strikes a tangent of the wheel, that is a blade. A tangent is called blade of the turbine wheel. So just a small diagram. This is a Pelton wheel, this is the blades of the Pelton wheel. So it touches a tangent. So this is a tangent of the runner, this is a tangent of the runner. This means the water strikes at here, so it is a parallel to the tangent, means this is also tangent. So the water strikes on the turbine tangentially to the wheel of the turbine. So in radial flow, the water strikes or the water enters to the turbine is radially. The direction of water flow is a radial flow, means the water touches the blades of the wheel radially and leaves also radially. Means, for example, this is a blade of any turbine. So this is a turbine runner, this is a blade of the turbine runner. Means the water enters radially, means one end of the radius the water is touches and leaves the water also radially. This is called radial flow turbine. In the previous class we completed we discussed about this radial flow and tangential flow and axial flow and mixed flow in our previous class. So this is a radial flow, means the water enters to the turbine is radially. So the radial flow turbines may be of two types. In previous class we discussed about the different types of radial flow, that is a inward radial flow and outward radial flow. So what is meant by inward radial flow and what is meant by outward radial flow is nothing but the inward radial flow means the water touches the outer periphery. This is a spiral casing, assumed as a spiral casing. The water touches the outer radius of the wheel and leaves from the inner radius, means the water enters outer radius and towards goes to the inner, means toward go to inward. So this is called inward radial flow. So the outward radial flow means the water enters to the runner at the inside of inner radius and leaves from the outer, means it goes out towards outer. So this is called outward radial flow. This means both inlet and outward, the inlet of water and outlet of the water, the flow is same, that is equal to radial. That's why it is a radial flow turbine. So in radial flow turbine we have one example, that is a Francis turbine. In the world there is a one radial flow turbine also. Coming to the Francis turbine, the old Francis turbine is a purely radial flow impulse turbine. But in a modern Francis, that is a mixed flow, means the water enters to the runner blades radially and leaves from the runner is axially. That is called mixed flow. In previous class we discussed about the mixed flow turbine and the Francis turbine. In our first class I showed many animations of the turbines, how the Pelton wheel is working, how the Pelton flow is, how the Pelton flow is Pelton wheel turbine develops work. Then how the Francis turbine work, what is a Francis turbine flow, how the water enters radial and how the water leaves axially. All these are we discussed in animations. If you have any doubt about the Francis and radial flow turbine, just go for our for better understanding, you go for my video lectures. Already I explained in my video lectures of Francis turbine and Pelton turbine and Kaplan turbine. So now I will go for Francis turbine. So in a radial flow turbine, there are two types of turbine: old Francis turbine and modern Francis turbine. So generally Francis turbine is nothing but a new Francis turbine or modern Francis turbine. So I go for Francis turbine. So Francis turbine is nothing but it is not a complete radial flow, it is a mixed flow. Means the water enters to the runner or runner blade radially and leaves from the runner as a axially. So how the water enters and leaves, you refer my video. So I will explain the construction feature and the working proportion and the components of the Francis turbine. So in a radial flow, the radial flow turbine, the water enters at one radius and leaves at another radius. This means therefore the inlet velocity and the blade outlet velocity should not be same, because in the Pelton wheel the water enters here and leaves also same radius. That's why in Pelton case U1 and U2 is the same, but in Francis and radial flow turbines as well as a Francis turbine, the water enters at one radius. This means the water enters at one radius and leaves at here then another radius. This means whenever the R1 and R2 will be vary, then U1 and U2 also vary. Therefore in a radial flow turbine and Francis turbine, U1 is not equal to U2. So please remember U1 is not is equal to U2 in a Francis as well as a radial flow turbine. So coming for the Francis turbine, so Francis turbine, it is a inward flow reaction turbine, which means it is designed by an American scientist, James B. Francis. So in earlier stages, the Francis turbine had a purely radial flow turbine, but in nowadays this is a both radial as well as a axial flow turbine. That's why it is called a mixed flow. Means the water enters to the runner radially and leaves from the runner is axially. So the modern Francis turbine is a mixed flow. The water enters radially as well as radially at outer periphery, leaves at center. So it is called a mixed flow, medium head, medium discharge and a medium specific reaction turbine. In reaction turbine, the relative velocity increases. That means so it is so Francis turbine is according to the flow, it is a mixed flow and medium head. So whenever the medium head, the discharge also medium discharge and medium specific speed NS reaction turbine. So reaction turbine, but in a Pelton wheel is a pure impulse turbine. Pelton is a pure impulse turbine. There is no concept of pressure energy as well as a reaction energy. Only kinetic energy takes place in the impulse turbine. But as in a reaction turbine, the kinetic energy and as well as a pressure energy takes place, though that is called reaction turbine. Both pressure energy and the kinetic energy involves in the reaction turbine. So in a reaction turbine, the reaction takes place. That's why in the previous case, VR1 is maybe equal to VR2 or VR2 is less than the VR1. But in the reaction turbine, the VR2 is greater than VR1. Because of reaction effect, the reaction velocity increases. So as the flow U1 and U2 is not same. So coming for the construction features of the Francis turbine, Francis turbine is a combination of both impulse and reaction, and it's using both impulse action as well as a reaction force. So the main reason of higher efficiency of Francis turbine lies the design of the blades. The higher efficiency of the the Francis turbine, it depends on the runner blades. So the runner blades is a backward types of blades. So this is a Francis turbine. So the main problem in impulse turbine is a very higher head is required. That is eliminated in the Francis turbine because of both impulse effect and reaction effect is takes place and uses both impulse and reaction effect. That's why it does not need a larger head like a Pelton wheel turbine or impulse turbine. So that's why it is a medium head turbine. In the reaction turbine, there is no need of any such type of a higher head of the water is required. So in reaction turbine, this is a construction feature of a reaction turbine of a Francis turbine. So these are the components. The water coming from the penstock is directly entered the spiral casing. This wound shape is called spiral casing. In the spiral casing, there is a two types of blades is situated, but I am drawing here is only one type of blade, and this is a runner. This is a runner. So this inner part is a runner. This is a shaft. Here the shaft is located. These are the runner blades. So out of these is a periphery. So this is a spiral casing. The spiral casing is attached to the end of the penstock. So the water coming from the penstock is entered to the spiral casing. The spiral casing is a reducing cross section. Is gradually reducing its cross section. Gradually, this is reduced in cross section. Already explained in my animation why it is reduced. What is the use of reducing the spiral casing diameter? So when reducing the spiral casing diameter, the velocity is increases as per continuity equation. The velocity increases. Whenever the velocity increases, the kinetic energy will increases in this spiral casing. So this is a spiral casing. This is a guide blades or guide vanes. And there are some stay vanes also there. I'll explain in my animation. This is a runner. There is a blades is called runner blades. This is a runner shaft or turbine shaft. So coming, these are the components of main components of the Francis turbine. The first one is the spiral casing, and second one is a stay vanes, and this is a combination mechanism guide vanes, and third one is a runner blades, and fourth one is a draft tube. These are the main components of Francis turbine, any Francis turbine. The last one is a draft tube. So some textbooks stay vanes and guide vanes are in different parts. So coming from the spiral casing. So the spiral casing is a gradually decreasing cross section. Here the kinetic energy is increases. So in the spiral casing, the stay vanes and guide vanes are situated. And coming from the stay vanes and guide vanes, there is a stay vanes and guide vanes is there. The stay vanes is it is a fixed type of vanes. It reduces the whirl of water coming from the penstock or coming from the head of the water. So it reduces and controls the whirl of the whirl of the water, and the guide vanes, it control the flow angle of water. So if you better understanding, just go for my animation lecture. And runner blade, these are the runner blades. The power developed by the entire turbine and efficiency of the turbine is purely depends on the runner blades. So when the water is coming, this is a runner blade. The runner blade is situated in the runner of the turbine, and the last one is a draft tube. At the end of the turbine, the draft tube is fitted. The water coming out from the turbine is not directly go to the tail race of the turbine or power plant. It is directly go for turbine draft tube, and it's the draft tube. And the draft tube is a conical shape of increasing the cross section of the section. So at the end of the turbine, this is a turbine casing. And at the end of the turbine casing, a draft tube is connected. The smaller end of the draft tube is connected at the end of the turbine, and the bigger end is just submerged just below the tail race of the water. This is a tail race of the water. So the draft tube is a reducing, so increasing cross section area or a tapered section. So why this section is required? What is the requirement of draft tube? Why the draft tube is this like of section? So I will explain the draft tube section. These are the main components. Spiral casing. In spiral casing, the velocity is increases, means the kinetic energy increases, as well as the pressure energy is controlling. And stay vanes, there is a stay vanes, it is used for the controlling of a whirl of water, and guide vanes are the control of it controls the flow angle and flow velocity of the water coming entered into the turbine runner from the spiral casing. The guide vanes is not a fixed type, it is a small adjustable and a small moving, small tilting type of blades. So for better understanding, you refer my video, lecture video. And runner blades, this is a runner blade. The entire turbine is purely depends on the power developed by the turbine is purely depends on the runner blades. The efficiency will increase the runner blade design parameters. And the last one is a draft tube. Draft tube is used for the increasing the pressure, decreasing the pressure and the pressure energy at the end of the runner. By decreasing the pressure energy, we are getting the we are utilizing the more kinetic energy for producing the more work. So draft tube is particularly used for the reducing the pressure at the below atmospheric pressure at the end of the runner. Due to that below atmospheric pressure, low pressure, the kinetic energy increases. The more kinetic energy is used for the producing the more turbine work. More the turbine work means more the turbine efficiency. So how the pressure energy at the end of runner is decreased, we will see in the draft tube theory concept. So this is the construction features of the components of Francis turbine. Coming to the working principle, the water coming from the penstock head of the water or turbine dam to the penstock is entered the spiral casing. After that, it is go through the stay vanes, then guide vanes. The stay vanes is just for removing the whirl coming from the penstock, reducing the whirl, and then the water is entered the guide vanes. Here the guide vanes is used for controlling or controlling the flow angle or flow of water. In next semester, I will explain how the guide vanes are used, how if the guide vanes angle is controlling, how the water is entered. Sometimes if the guide vanes is completely closed, just the water is entered to the turbine runner and leaves the turbine runner. There is no rotation of this runner blades. Just the water is entering and leaving from the turbine. So that's why the guide vanes is a very important parameter. So if the guide vane angles is not a particularly in a particular direction or a particular design parameters, if it is not a such as in a particular direction or a particular angle, simply the water flow and leaves from the turbine vanes. So that's why guide vanes is a more important parameter. So how the water will flow from the guide vanes, you just refer my video lecture animation video. Again I will explain in our laboratory how it is used for controlling the flow angle and flow of water as a guide vanes. So then the water is entered the runner vanes at the outer periphery of the runner and leaves from the inner radius of the runner to axially to the draft tube. So the water leaves from the turbine casing axially and to the draft tube at one end of the section, then it leaves another end of the section. So then here what happened, the spiral casing is reducing cross section area, then the kinetic energy, whenever the area is decreases, the velocity increases. The velocity increases means the kinetic is more kinetic energy is increases. The more kinetic energy is developed here. Then due to this tight casing and scroll conduit casing, there is a pressure reaction is there, that's why both pressure and kinetic energy is the important parameter. Vice versa, the pressure energy may be decreases or kinetic energy may be increases, or kinetic energy may be decreases or pressure energy may be increases of this spiral casing, the tight closed conduit of this section, the pressure and the kinetic energy changes vice versa. That's why this is a reaction between the pressure and the kinetic energy. That's why this turbine is a reaction turbine. So in this reaction turbine and Francis turbine, both pressure energy and kinetic energy plays an important role. For maintaining that particular pressure and for maintaining that reaction, draft tube is required. That's why in the Pelton case, the pressure energy entire the turbine is the atmosphere. That's why there is no need of draft tube in the Pelton wheel. But in the Francis as well as a reaction turbine, for creating for such type of reaction effect, we need a draft tube. The draft tube is used for the creating the reaction effect. So in the reaction turbine, both kinetic energy and pressure energy plays an important role. Then the water enters at the outer periphery and leaves axially from the runner. So that's why it is a mixed flow turbine. This is a working principle of a Francis turbine. So now we will go for the working proportions and the design proportions of the Pelton wheel turbine. Okay, the design and working proportions of Francis turbine. I written as in my notebook, I think Francis Pelton turbine. This is a Francis turbine. So this is a velocity triangle of a Francis turbine. So in the velocity inlet velocity triangle is same as a Pelton case, but in the exit velocity triangle or outlet velocity triangle is just a right angle triangle. Why it is a right angle triangle? Just listen. So this is a spiral casing. This is a runner. This is a runner blade. The water enters at the outer periphery. This is the outer periphery or outer radius. It's radially with the velocity, absolute velocity v1. So whenever the water gets strikes at the blade is just trying to move in the direction of the water velocity. So this is we represented the blade velocity in here. So whenever the absolute velocity and blade velocity is there, the resultant component as a relative velocity is there. This is an inlet inside of the line. This is a relative velocity. So there is a two components of the velocity vector, absolute velocity vector component, the horizontal component as well as vertical component. The horizontal component is called whirl velocity. The vertical component is flow velocity. These are both VW and V1 is the vector components of the absolute velocity V1. So this is a VR1 is a resultant component of U1 and V1. So the water enters at an angle alpha 1. This is a blade angle. So whenever the water leaves axially, means the exit angle, the water leaving angle is 90 degrees. The 90 degrees means this is a 90 degree. So water is if the water is not leaves as axially, same as radially, the outlet velocity triangle like B will be like this. So this is a V2. So when there is no V of T is equal V2. So whenever the water leaves axially means so axially means the water leaves parallel to the shaft axis, means 90 degrees. So alpha 2 is 90 degrees. Whenever the alpha 2 is 90 degrees, this is alpha 2 is somewhat less than 90 degrees. Whenever it is leaves axially, the alpha 2 is 90 degrees. So then it is measures. The alpha 2 is here, alpha 2 is 90 degrees. Then what happened? The V2 is measures in VF2. So there is no inner line. So this is a Francis turbine velocity triangle. So as well as a VR2 relative velocity at exit, this is a blade angle at outlet angle beta 2 and blade outlet velocity U2. In Francis turbine, U1 is not equal to U2. U1 is not equal to U2 because the water enters one radius. For example, from the circumference, this is center of this is we called as R1. This is a R2. So R1 is R1 and R2 will be same for this blade. Then U1 and U2 will be different. This U1 is not equal to U2. So the generalized runner power equation is m dot into VW1 U1 minus VW2 U2. This is a generalized power equation or runner power equation of any turbine, of any hydraulic machine, of turbine as well as a pump. If it is a pump, VW2 minus VW2 U2 minus VW1 U1. If it is a turbine, means a power developing device, VW1 U1 minus VW2 U2. In Pelton case, we observe that U1 and U2 will be same. That's why in Pelton, PR is equal to, runner power is equal to VW1 minus VW2 into U. But in a Francis turbine, U1 is not equal to U2. That's why same we written as a VW1 U1 minus VW2 U2. So whenever the water leaves, for example, the water is not, leaves are not axially, this is a V2. So whenever V2 is there, whenever V2 is there, the horizontal component will be here, VW2. But the water leaves axial, means alpha T is 90 degrees, then V2 is merges here, so then VW2 will be 0. So VW2 will be 0. VW2 will be 0. So whenever the water leaves axially, if the water enters axially, VW1 will be 0. If the water leaves axially, VW2 will be 0. So then the runner power is m dot into VW1 U1 minus VW2 0, then U2, then the runner power is m dot into mass flow rate of water into VW1 U1. This is a runner power of the Francis turbine, modern Francis turbine. So coming from the hydraulic efficiency is equal to runner power by water power. So runner power is same as m dot to VW1 U1 divided by water power mgh m dot gh, then m dot get cancelled. Hydraulic efficiency is equal to VW1 U1 by gh. So this gh. So this is a hydraulic efficiency of a reaction type of a Francis turbine. So note that in Francis turbine, U1 is not equal to U2. Then U1 we can write as a pi d1 n by 60, and U2 is a pi d2 diameter of outlet by pi d2 n by 60. So these are the runner and runner power equation and hydraulic efficiency and blade velocity and inlet and exit. So likewise in a Pelton wheel turbine, there is a two ratios is there, speed ratio we called as a KU. Speed ratio is nothing but blade velocity by inlet blade velocity by inlet absolute velocity, we can write as a U1 by absolute velocity we called as a root over 2gh, we can write as a V is equal to root over 2gh. So generally the speed ratio of a Francis turbine is around 0.7 to 0.85. So this is a generalized speed ratio of the Francis turbine. And coming from the flow ratio, this is a new term in a Francis turbine. Flow ratio. In Pelton wheel turbine, we discussed only speed ratio, but in a Francis turbine and Kaplan turbine means a reaction turbine, flow ratio is there. The flow ratio is nothing but inlet flow velocity by inlet absolute velocity. We write as a Vf1 by, again V1 we can write as a root over 2gh. This is a flow ratio. We can denote it as a Kf. Flow ratio Kf. So generally the flow ratio is 0.15 to 0.35 of a Francis turbine. This is a speed ratio of a Francis turbine. This is a flow ratio of a Francis turbine. So coming for the discharge equation. So you know that according to continuity equation, Q is equal to area into velocity. Discharge is equal to area into velocity. We know that Q is equal to, according to continuity equation, Q is equal to area into velocity. So please note that in Francis turbine, U1 is not equal to U2. Please understand this. So area into velocity, here velocity we take as a absolute velocity. So area we can write as a area we can write as pi db. Pi d is the circumference of the wheel and d is breadth of the wheel. So area is equal to pi db and velocity v we can write as a flow velocity. Velocity we use as a flow velocity. For Francis turbine, pi d minus zdt into b, because in Francis turbine there are a number of blades is there. In a runner there are a number of runner blades is there. So if you assume entire runner the water will flow just pi d into b, but the water is occupies in between the blades, runner blades, means we remove that area of the runners. The area of the runner is a zdt. How many number of blades and what is the thickness of the blade we consider. So then this is a vf. Therefore discharge q is equal to area pi d circumference minus number of blades of the Francis turbine into that much of thickness, that is a pi d term, and into b, and v is the flow velocity vf. This is a discharge equation of a Francis turbine. For example, if the thickness of the blades is very small, we neglect that the thickness, then the discharge equation will be pi d b into that area into flow velocity. So flow velocity. So sometimes the thickness is small, the term k is used, k into pi db into velocity vf, that k is a factor for account for a thickness of veins. So total this term thickness of veins terms k we can use. If in this problem if k is given, use this k. So this is a discharge equation. So according to continued equation, the water enters radially in the runner. So continued equation, and leaves from the exit of the blade, that is a q2. Then we can write as a pi db vf1 equal to pi db vf2 exit. So then diameters will be different and width will be different. Pi d1 b1 and d2 b2. This is according to continued equation of the discharge. So these are the working proportions or some important formulas in the Francis turbine. Before going to the solving the Francis turbine problems, we just focus on the inlet triangle. Sometimes in the Francis turbine problems, u1 in the previous problems, u1 is always less than, in a Pelton wheel turbine u1 is less than u2. Therefore the inlet velocity triangle will be like here. That inlet velocity triangle will be like here. U1 is less than vw1. But if u1 is greater than vw1, the inlet velocity triangle will be like this. So I will draw clearly how it is. So as well as this is a v1, this is a vf1 flow velocity component, and this is a relative velocity vr1. So whenever v1 is there, that is a u1, that is a total length is a u1. Then for absolute velocity components, vertical component vf1, horizontal component vw1. In general case, if this is a u1 is greater than vw1, so if the u1 blade velocity at inlet is greater than of the wheel velocity at inlet, the velocity triangle will be like this. This is a alpha 1 and this is a beta 1. So this is a beta 1. So if u1 is less than vw1, same as previous velocity triangle. So this is a v1, this is a vr1, then this is a our u1. So horizontal component of absolute velocity is a vw1 and vertical component is a vf1. Here you observe that vw1 is greater than u1, means u1 is less than vw1, but here u1 is greater than vw1. Before going to solve this problem, First you find out U1 and VW1, observe the relation. If U1 is greater than VW1, use this triangle of inlet triangle. If U1 is less than the VW1, use this type of velocity triangle. So now we will solve some conventional problems, some important conventional problems on the Francis turbine.